Yeah, that's right, Angelica. And the Lower Columbia Major Crimes Team is leading the investigation because it involves both Vancouver Police as well as the Clark County Sheriff's Office. But they did share a timeline of events late last night. And here's what we know right now. So this started at 8 o'clock on Saturday night, where reportedly a man robbed a gas station in Vancouver, stealing a vehicle at that point, or leaving the scene in a stolen car. 12 minutes later, Vancouver Police found the suspect on I-205. They used spike strips to stop him near the Battleground exit, but he then ran away. Now, shortly after, investigators say a woman called 911 to report a man pounding on their front door. At that point, she told dispatchers that her husband, Officer Donald Sahota, was a Vancouver police officer and was armed in the driveway. She told dispatchers he was trying to detain the suspect. Investigators then say the suspect and Officer Sahota got into a fight. That's when the officer was stabbed repeatedly. The suspect got away. Investigators say Officer Sahota was able to get a hold of his gun, but within seconds, one Clark County deputy got to the scene and shot several rounds at Officer Sahota. He was rushed to the hospital where he died. The suspect later surrendered to police. Now, the officer leaves behind his wife and 2 children. Officer Donald Sahota was 52 years old. Angelica, back to you.
Dan, what do we know about the Clark County deputy who fired their weapon?
At this point, the investigation has not led to them sharing the name of the Clark County deputy who shot and killed Officer Sahota. At this point, we also don't have much information about that armed robbery suspect. All information we're hoping to get in the next few hours, and we'll update this story as soon as we can.
And that breaking news just into our newsroom tonight. We now know more about the death of an off-duty Vancouver police officer. Investigators now say that Officer Donald Sahota was shot by a Clark County deputy just seconds after he was stabbed by a robbery suspect. We want to show you the timeline from the Lower Columbia Major Crimes Team. They say around 8 o'clock last night, a man robbed a gas station in Vancouver. He left the scene in a stolen car. 12 minutes later, Vancouver Police found the suspect on 205. They used spike strips to stop him near the Battleground exit, but he ran. Shortly after, investigators say a woman called 911 to report a man pounding on their front door. She told dispatchers that her husband, Officer Sahota, was a Vancouver police officer and was armed in the driveway. She told dispatchers he was trying to detain the suspect. Investigators say the suspect and Officer Sahota got into a fight, and that's when the officer was stabbed repeatedly. Then the suspect got away. Investigators say Officer Sahota was able to get a hold of his gun, but within seconds, one Clark County deputy got to the scene and shot several rounds at Officer Sahota. He was taken to the hospital where he died. The suspect later surrendered to police. Officer Sahota leaves behind a wife and 2 children. And we are still waiting on the Clark County deputy's name as well as the robbery suspect. Once we have more information, we'll bring it to you on air and online.
Doctors say we flattened the curve a lot, so please continue to take those safety precautions until the case counts start coming down. After weeks of overwhelmed hospitals.
I mean, it's busy. We're having a lot of COVID-19 cases.
Different procedures are being canceled or emergency rooms are packed.
Doctors say we could finally see some relief in the near future.
Over the next week or so, we expect the census to begin coming down. The peak date is a little bit lower in my current forecast than previous weeks. And it's also been pushed out a few more days again.
OHSU's Dr. Peter Graven says the decline will vary depending on where you are in the state.
We also have a little bit of a dynamic within the state where, the Portland area looks like it might be peaking sooner than some of the other areas that are further from Portland. And that may mean that Portland starts declining and those ones continue to increase a little bit.
But overall, it's largely thanks to many Oregonian safety efforts.
And this is what it looks like to flatten the curve. We can see that our hospital peak level is going to be lower than other states, most likely.
Doctors say this isn't going to be a fast decline.
We still have a lot of people that are getting infected every day, just less every day than the day before.
So we need to continue our safety precautions, especially getting the vaccine, even if you had COVID-19 in the past.
There's a couple of reasons why I think it's really important to get vaccinated, even if you've been previously infected with COVID-19. First of all, this is a brand new virus, and we just have no idea how long your immunity may last if you've been previously infected. And we know for sure, even a lot of people have gotten reinfected.
To see OHSU's full forecast and specific numbers for the coming week, visit KATU.com. Live in Portland, Frances Lynn, K2 News.
Frances, thank you. We want to take a look at the situation around the country now. Data shows hospital admissions are down nearly 10% nationwide. In 41 states, cases are either plunging or plateauing. Health officials say it's more evidence that the U.S. might be turning a corner.
It's been rough, and I feel wronged, and I feel like that the county commission did something that was very wrong.
Washington County residents can once again purchase flavored tobacco in stores, but the reversal may be temporary. The ban was put on hold while county officials verify the signatures collected to possibly bring it to a vote on the May ballot. K2's Frances Lynn joins us live tonight after following this story for the last few weeks. And how many days has it been since that ban took place, Frances?
30 days. It's been 30 days since the ban, and some businesses like Plaid Pantry can survive financially, but some other smaller businesses that had to shut down told me it's too late for them now.
It's been the hardest thing that I've ever had to deal with emotionally in my life so far.
After the flavored tobacco ban, Christopher Ferreira had to say goodbye to his store. He says those products brought in 90% of his revenue.
It's a nail in the coffin for us, but having to rehash this story on a daily basis with every customer that came through the door is just a beat down and a beat down and a beat down.
One of the commissioners who voted against the ban, Jerry Wiley, says he was in support of what the ordinance was in the first place.
It originally started as enhancing restrictions on underage users.
Something retailers agreed to consider, but somehow
it was a complete turn. One of the commissioners made a motion to amend the ordinance as it was originally presented to ban the product.
Washington County officials released a statement, Board Chair Catherine Harrington saying the reason behind the ban is to discourage young people to use addictive tobacco substances. I reached out to her directly about the effects on businesses. She did not respond. And when I asked the stores if they had concerns about kids' health,
we understand that we want to keep kids safe. We have a 98% plus compliance rate. We card every single person buying an age-restricted product.
They're using Instagram and they're getting all the crazy stuff that they want to get. And what the county did was they only made it illegal to sell the product. They didn't make it illegal to possess. I don't understand how that addresses that particular situation. It makes zero sense.
And now the ban is on hold. Ferreira told me it's too late for him. He already sold everything and moved out. Commissioner Wiley says he's happy the ban is put on hold.
I think this was an overreach by our commission, and primarily because they removed the freedom of choice by those who were old enough to make those choices.
And now they can continue discussing other ways to tackle this issue.
In the hands of the voters is where this belongs, and we'll see what they say in May.
I will follow up on this story in May when voters decide whether or not to ban flavored tobacco products for good.